All right, welcome, ladies and gentlemen. Today we're going to look at a few different things with regards to our legislative branch. So, one, what does Congress do? And two, how are laws created? So, we have our three branches of government, and we're going to focus in today on the legislative branch, the lawmaking body, if you will. So, we had said in an earlier video that our legislative branch is bicameral, meaning that it has two chambers. The House of Representatives, which is 435 members, and the Senate, where we have 100. So the House of Representatives is based on population. So there's more representatives sent for a state if there are more people living in that state. Every state, however, is giving 2 senators. So therefore, 50 states, 2 senators equals 100. So first, you would have to determine how many people live in a state. And the Constitution mandates that every 10 years, a census is taken. This census will find out the population, and that will determine the representation for that state and how many they send to Congress. The main powers of the legislative branch are to pass laws, spend and tax, declare war, and nominate as well as approve treaties. So let's take a look at passing laws. In Congress, we have many committees. We have the Education Committee, a Budget Committee, Committee on the Military, Tax Committee, Committee for Veterans, as well as Banking and Finance. So what we're going to do is we're going to just focus in and pretend that we're looking at the Committee on Education. Now, in these committees, you have different members of Congress in each chamber working with each other, both Democrats, Republicans, Independents, etc. And they're trying to look at different bills that are being proposed so that they could eventually become law. Now, most bills will never become law, but this is the process that how we get to becoming a law. So you see the bill on the left-hand side, it enters the committee, and now it's open for discussion, research, debate. They'll bring in professionals, testimonials, etc. Once a committee votes yes on a bill, it is then sent to the floor of that chamber so the rest of the chamber can listen, debate, and then eventually vote on it. Once the bill makes it to the floor and out of the committee, it is discussed, debated, and voted on. Most of the times, these bills do not even make it out of its chamber. Again, a chamber would be either the House or the Senate. But if it does make it out of the chamber, it then has to go to the other one. Once the bill makes it to the other chamber or the other house, it is then going to follow very similar procedures at a basic level, where they will discuss, debate, and then vote upon that bill. Sometimes amendments are added and it has to go back to the other chamber, but once you finally get a version that is passed from both chambers, next, it will stop at the president. Now, when the president reads and looks over the bill, he or future she will look at it with his staff or her staff members to decide whether or not this is a good in the agenda that they're trying to put forth for the country. So they have 2 options. They can veto and say no, or ratify and say yes. If the bill is passed or ratified by the president, it is then a law. And as per the Constitution, that law is going to apply to the whole nation. So all citizens, all local towns and county jurisdictions as well as states will have to abide by that law. But what if a bill makes it out of Congress to the president and the president vetoes it? Well, usually that's the end of the life for the bill. But it can go back to Congress, and if both chambers vote by the 2/3 majority, they can then override the presidential veto, and therefore that bill will become a law. And all states and all citizens of the U.S. will have to abide by that law. I hope that this was helpful, and if you have any questions or concerns, please feel free to email me at the school.